Okay, let's refresh our memory on Regedit. And I'll go ahead and click yes. Now the book goes into more detail on Regedit in this chapter. We're just going to briefly talk about Regedit because we've talked about it before. But if I expand the H key current user, that's who's signed on. If I expand software, mine's already expanded, but if I expand Microsoft, wherever it's at, and then you got Windows down here and Windows NT. Well, if you go into Windows, then you see current version, and you see run once, run. It shows you what's going to run. So my OneDrive runs every time it comes up. Now I probably don't want that, so I can come here and I can delete it. You know, if I come over here and if I right-click on this, and I choose delete. Probably before I want to do that is I'd want to make a backup, and you want to do that over here under the run. So you can choose export, and I'll save it to my temp folder where I've been putting everything. And this is my run settings. Now be careful when you start deleting items directly from Regedit because it can do damage. Okay, so I'm going to go to my temp folder, and there's my run settings. You don't want to double click it, that'll load it in, although it doesn't do anything because it's already loaded. Then you see the setting here. So if I delete it, then it'll be out of my registry. So I can come over here, right click this and choose delete. And may cause instability. Actually, you want to permanently delete this value? Yes. Okay, so now if I come back over and run settings here, if I double click this and click yes, make sure I want to continue, yes, and have been successfully added to the registry. All of a sudden it's back in there. So by doing that export, you can do your backup and feel relatively confident you're not gonna mess up your system too much. Of course, that depends on what you delete. If you come back here and you delete right here, it doesn't let us. That's good. How about software? If you delete software, you're probably reloading everything from scratch. Registry is where everything's stored. Now I'm not rehashing registry here. I just wanted to briefly cover that. There's a program called AutoRunS. One of the best tools you can use for determining what's running on your system. Because potentially, if you think somebody has maybe stole some information off your computer, then this tool will allow you to see what's running. If I click this, and tells you AutoRun is where you can get the newest version. Download AutoRun, and I put it down here. I'm gonna right click on that and say show in folder. And where am I at? I'm in downloads, and that's okay. I'll unzip it here. So right click on that and choose extract all, and then click extract. Now the one you want to run is the AutoRunS. And go ahead and agree to that. And this brings up everything that's happening on your system. So you do not have to go through the registry and try to understand what all these different pieces are. Now you still have to understand what's going on here, sort of. You don't have to fully know every item on this tool. You got everything here, log on. So this is what happens when you log on. Looks like I got a Google Chrome installer. Well, that's going to slow me down. I can uncheck that. OneDrive. If I don't use OneDrive, I probably can uncheck that. And it tells you where it's stored at. So hkcu/software/Microsoft/Windows/current version/run. CU. That would imply current user. So this is the one that we saw over in the registry. This is the one we deleted. It's a little bit more user-friendly here, isn't it? And you can kind of see what who created it, publisher, if that's available. Now here's one that says file not found. This is probably one I could delete and be okay. Got Explorer. You got the Internet Explorer. It take a lot longer to understand how to do understand all these different pieces than this short video I'm going to show you. It looks like I got Skype for Business Browser Helper loading. Probably don't want that if I'm not using Skype, so I could uncheck that. Scheduled tasks. Wow. Windows Media, network sharing. Here's one that might concern me, since there is no description on it, but pretty sure it's safe. Here's Dropbox. I don't remember installing Dropbox, so I can uncheck this. Now when you uncheck it, it'll come up and say state access is denied, and then you have to rerun it as administrator. So if you click run as administrator and click yes, the second time it comes up, of course minimize it there, then you can go over here and uncheck whatever. Always under scheduled tasks, and then Dropbox, uncheck that. If you're not using Dropbox, you probably don't want it there. Google installer. Now unchecking it is different than right clicking and choosing delete. Unchecking it, it'll actually stay there, just won't run it. Intel Software Asset Manager. You know, if you get to the point your computer's so slow that it doesn't hardly run, come here and start unchecking these items under scheduled tasks. Look under here in services and see what all is running. On my other computer, it runs really slow. I think I got an Oracle database that's running it at any given time, and I think I got a couple other databases too that were set up when a particular application was installed. SQL writer. Okay, drivers. I never really touch drivers very much. Usually what I experiment with here is logon, Internet Explorer, and scheduled tasks. Okay, but here's Office. I have something that runs on my other computer every time I bring up Office, so it could be this would give me a way to shut that off, because it's kind of annoying because I have to wait for a while for it to install each time. Sidebar gadgets, WMI, I couldn't even tell you what some of these are. Print monitors. This is my HP Universal 7412. This is where you can safely modify your system without going to Registry and not knowing what you're going to be doing. Now when log on, here's some other face credential provider. Now if you're wondering what this is, Google it and see if it's something you need on your system. Now this is, if your system's running fine, you probably don't want to go in here and start unchecking a lot of different items. But if your system's acting up, this is a way you can investigate your computer. If something's running on your computer that shouldn't be running in there, it's gathering data. I suspect somewhere in this one of these settings you're going to find that. It's going to be a service running or something. A good indication is if you see a file out here that does not fall within some of these standard folders. Also, these have sizes corresponding to them. Like this one right here. See this date 11/21/2012? The size is 568K. When your virus check software runs, it goes through and checks these services that are running, see where it's pointing at, and it checks that particular date to the size. If the size does not match, then it's assumed that perhaps some malware has replaced it. For example, I could call any program this name and replace this file. Let's see if I can demonstrate that. Okay. Program files, probably Microsoft. Well, I don't know where. Maybe Windows. Let's see where Notepad's at. And probably should have went to Windows first. Yeah, not seeing it. So let me go into Windows. Windows NT, accessories, WordPad. Perfect choice. I'll right click on it, choose copy, and then I'm going to go over to, I'll put in my C drive, go to temp, paste it in here. Now right click on this and choose rename. So now it's on Notepad. And if I copy it over to the location Notepad, the size of the file will not match. And when you run it, it's not going to run. Unable to create a new document. That's curious. It doesn't even run. Interesting. I may not have got all the files I needed. But let me delete that. Let me try to go to my documents. In Visual Studio, projects, HTML writer. Okay, I got an exe file I created here. Let me see if this is the one. See if I can double click that. And looks like it's not going to run. I think that's the correct one. I don't think it's this VS host. This is a program I wrote in Visual Studio last night. Of course, it may run so slow that it'll never come up. But the idea is you got this application. Maybe I go in and I write it in some kind of package. It's got an exe extension, which means it's an application you can run. Then you go in and rename it. So I rename this as Notepad. Like that. And then I copy this to the location in Notepad. Now perhaps it has the same functionality as Notepad, so you don't even realize that you're running a false Notepad, because it seems to be doing what it was before. But the size of it, maybe it's doing some other tasks in also. Like when you run Notepad, maybe it's harvesting your contact list and uploading it to the internet somewhere. Maybe it's while Notepad is running, it's intercepting every keystroke that's coming in. So if you happen to buy something while Notepad's running, then it handles it that way. So anyway, if you run it as a service where it's running all the time, it's even worse. But that's one way they can do that. It goes through and checks. I don't think that's ever going to come up. So, but that's AutoRunS. There's a lot of other tools that allow you to do the same item as this, but this is a free one that really anybody can load up. And again, I probably wouldn't go through and just uncheck everything to say I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this. You really have to understand what these different pieces represent.